Hello and welcome back to A Better Thing. My name is Jason Roberts. I'm a recruiter. I've been a recruiter for 25 years. And today I want to spend a little bit of time showing you how you can find a job using Chat GPT. Now, the way that we're going to do this is I'm going to switch to a view that shares my screen, and we're going to walk through two ways to do it. One way, if you pay for Chat GPT Plus so that you can use some of the pre-built Chat GPTs, and I've built a GPT that you can use. Then we'll show you the way, if you just need to use the free Chat GPT, you can use that. And I've provided you the prompts, so it should be nice and easy for you to do. All right, stick with me. All right, welcome. So we're going to do a few different things. The first is we're going to spend a little bit of time in Chat GPT. There's three ways that Chat GPT can help you find a job that I want to concentrate on in this video. The first is in updating your resume based on a specific job. The second is in providing career coaching or interview coaching so that you know what questions to be ready for an interview. And the third place is for an offer negotiation. So when it's time to talk about what salary you want and have the back and forth, what do you need to know for that? What compensation should you expect and what's reasonable based on what the market says? So we're going to use ChatGPT for all three of those. I'm going to do this in two different ways. The first way is using a custom GPT that I've written for this purpose and that you can use free of charge if you have the paid ChatGPT Plus plan. So if you pay ChatGPT to use your thing, you can use my free career coach and we'll do it that way. I've built in all of the prompts that you need into this coach, and it's a pretty straightforward, simple tool to use. The second option is if you don't have the paid piece, we'll go do it a second way, which is where I will put the prompts in and I'll leave the prompts in our description here, and you can use those same prompts in order to get the results that I get without the paid ChatGPT piece. So it's a little more complicated. There's an extra copy paste in there, but hopefully that will solve the problem for you. So first things first, let's look at updating a resume based on a job description. So in Career Coach, I just simply click on this thing. I give you a button right up front, and ChatGPT is going to ask you to do some things. It says, please paste in a job description. And as luck would have it, I have a job description ready for you right here. So we'll go highlight this job description. This is a job description that I'm going to use my own resume and a job that I might be interested in. So we'll use this job description. I'm going to paste that in. Okay, that's pasted in now. Please upload your current resume. All right. And what I did is I just went to LinkedIn, and in LinkedIn, you can get LinkedIn to set up a resume for you. Just under your profile, you hit more and it will do that for you. So I have that here, and I'm just going to attach this resume right here. There you go. And we're off. So the first thing that this does is it's going to tell me where I need to make changes. And then the next thing that it will do is it will actually rewrite the thing for me. So we'll let that do its thing for a little while. So this is ChatGPT going in and saying, if I were to make changes myself, what changes does it think I should make? I should emphasize certain things, mention KPI development, things like that. But then later on, it actually rewrites the thing for me. So it does a good job of rewriting this for me. Adds in some things that I didn't have in there before, narrows things down based on the bullets that I have. Puts in education requirement, and then I have it add a skills section. And what I do is I have it pull the skills directly from the job posting. So I like the skills section at the bottom that has terminology that sits in the job posting itself. Now I have this one built so that it goes ahead and gives me interview questions that I can expect. So it reads the job description and says, okay, can you describe a strategic HR initiative you've led that aligned with organizational goals? Now, what you'll notice in this one is it's asking for a star response. So it's asking for a situation or task, and then it's outlining a situation or task. It's asking for your actions and results. So it's called a star interview. So can you describe a strategic HR initiative? So what's the situation and task? And I want you to respond with your actions and goals, right? How have you used HR analytics to improve workforce planning? What experience do you have with implementing HR related KPIs and scorecards? Can you provide an example of how you manage? So this is what it thinks I ought to do. Okay. You see how easy that was, right? So I had to do two things. I pasted in a job description that I found, and then I attached my resume and it did the rest. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. So next, we've got some help on interview questions. We've got some help on the resume. The next thing we do is based on my background and years of experience, as well as the job description, what should I expect to be paid for this job? So it's gone and pulled 3 different views of what this is. And it says, given extensive experience, and this is what I can expect to be paid. So that's good. And then it concludes, based on your background, market data, ask for salary between 170 and 210 annually. It's essential to discuss full compensation package, including bonus benefits. That is true. And then what I like to do is say, what approach should I use to negotiate the best possible salary? And what it will do is it will give you some tips and tricks. So market data, which we just pulled, know your value, which it just laid out, understanding the company. We set a salary range and prepare a pitch. So you see how it kind of gives you really straightforward instructions on what to do. That's what I use this for. I use ChatGPT to give me very specific instructions. And it even has a script that you can follow on this. I think that's really clever and a good way to do it. But it has a script specific to this job. So notice this is the company that was hiring before. This is a script very specific to this job, which I also found rather clever. So really great tool. It helps you quite a bit. Now, what happens if you don't have access to this Career Coach GPT? And again, the only way you have access is if you go to Explore GPTs, and if you have the paid Chat GPT thing, you can find it here, but I'll give you a link directly to it. So look at this. Over 1,000 people have used this. That's pretty handy. I didn't know that was the case, but look at that. 1,000 people have used this Career Coach GPT now. Okay, now let's do this with just regular Chat GPT. Okay. First thing, I'm going to go and get a prompt for us. So we'll do this. Now I go into a lot more detail on how to do an update on your resume in a separate Chat GPT for resume updates. But again, we want to use this to update our resume based on a job description. There's a prompt here. I'll put this in the description, but this will be a request to update a resume based on the job description. Step 1, paste in the job description. Step 2, prompt to upload resume. Step 3, give recommendations on how to customize the resume. Step 4, complete a draft of the updated resume. And in that draft, do a few different things. So only terminology alignment and emphasis to align with the job description should change. You have to do those things so that it doesn't sort of, you hear about ChatGPT hallucinating. It will make up stuff if you don't watch it. And anything that it does right, you absolutely want to review and double check, because it will make things up. You don't want to lie on your resume. You want your resume to be legit. You want it to be true. So here we go. Please proceed to step 1, paste the job description. Okay. We will copy this again. We'll paste that in. Now, step 2, upload a current resume. All right, we've done this before. Here we go. All right, so now it's doing the same thing that we had before. You see how this works, the exact same functionality that it had. We are getting recommendations on what it would do. And then the next thing is it's actually writing a draft for it. So what I'd like to do is I like to look at its draft, look at its recommendations, and make sure that it's wording things the way that I would word those things. Now, one thing that might be helpful to you is I'm going to leave you a link to my template for a resume. I'll leave that here. It's actually another video that I do that has that. It'll just be right here on the screen. And what that can do is that template will help you get past an ATS. It's specifically built so that it can be parsed and read by an applicant tracking system. And so drop whatever is created by ChatGPT into this template, and you'll have your best possible shot of making progress on the job. Okay, so it's done all of this. It's written the job description. It's read the job description. It's written the resume. The next thing we want to do is, based on this job and my resume, what interview questions should I expect to see in a first round interview? Let's see where we go. Look at that. You get very specific. Again, very specific to this particular job and what questions that I should expect to have. And what's helpful with this is this can help coach you through and be ready for the interview. You can look at these questions, be prepared to answer them, have thought through specific examples in the past, and kind of work through your resume in your own mind on what to do. Now, the next thing I would do is say, based on this job posting and my background and years of experience, what should I expect to be paid for this job? Right. So you just ask. And then again, what strategies should I use to negotiate salary for this role? So we've now gone through, we have updated our resume. We've built interview questions that we can use to prepare for the interview. And then finally, we've found our expected salary, and we have strategies on how to negotiate that salary. All of these prompts I'll actually I'll build those together into a document and give you a link to that just so it's easier for you to get to and you have it all in one place to copy and paste from. But we'll make that easy for you to get to and create a document for you right here. I really hope this is helpful, and I hope it helps you find your next job. Best of luck in your job search.